So even though Inspiration Point and Hidden Falls was high on my list of places I wanted to go and see, Cascade Canyon, which is just beyond, was even higher on that list. How did it stack up? Let's get into it. Cascade Canyon, where is it? Well, it's in the Grand Tetons National Park. And to get there, you kind of have to make your way to the Jenny Lake Visitor Center. This is kind of where everything starts. And from there, you have two options. You can take the shuttle boat, cross the lake. That's where save you about 5 miles. Or you can take the lake trail that goes around the lake to start the hike. For this video, we're going to take the lake shuttle and start the hike from the boat dock on the other side of the lake. So if you're planning on taking the boat shuttle, I'll put a link in the description for you because their hours do change depending on the time of the year and their rates might change as well. They also don't take advanced reservations, so it's all on a first come, first served basis. But I'll put a link in the description for you. Be sure to check that out if you plan on using the boat shuttle. So what are the trail stats? Well, from the boat dock at the other side of Jenny Lake, you're looking at 9.3 miles round trip to the end of Cascade Canyon, the total elevation gain of 1,118 feet. So if you didn't see my previous video on Inspiration Point, start there because it's going to provide a much more detailed breakdown from this trail to Inspiration Point. But if not, that's okay. I'll give you kind of the cliff notes on kind of what to expect. Once you get off the boat, the trail is going to start climbing moderately through the forest until you reach about a half mile an intersection to go to Hidden Falls. Don't miss Hidden Falls because Hidden Falls is quite nice. And it's really not that far off the main trail. Once you come back to the main trail, you're going to cross the creek again and climb more moderately through the forest for another 0.4 miles until you get to Inspiration Point. So when you get to Inspiration Point, if you're considering about turning around here and making this your destination, don't do that. That would be a massive mistake. Because from here, it's only about a half mile or so of relatively flat trail to get into Cascade Canyon itself. Because to be perfectly honest, when you're at Jenny Lake, looking across the lake to the Tetons themselves, the whole point in wanting to come over here is to immerse yourself in these mountains. And you're not going to get that at Inspiration Point. But Cascade Canyon absolutely does. And once when you get into Cascade Canyon itself, this trail completely transforms. You break out and you're just surrounded by 11,000 to 13,000 foot peaks on either side of the valley. And the creek itself just kind of meanders down, transitioning either from just gently flowing down the valley itself or even through small little ponds. The scene is just absolutely stunning. And from here, the trail just kind of keeps going for several miles. And it's relatively flat. I mean, yeah, you're kind of climbing slowly as you make your way to the backside of the canyon, but it's pretty easy going. And it's kind of remarkable considering how rugged and just incredible the mountains are that are surrounding this valley. And the further along you get in the valley, the more evidence there are that this valley takes quite the beating with avalanches that come down. Because Inspiration Point and the beginning of the valley are so crowded, the further along the trail you go, the less crowds there are. And remarkably, the further along the trail you go, in my opinion, the more scenic the valley gets. It's kind of amazing when you get to the backside of the valley itself. There's just far less people. It's incredible back there. And one of my favorite spots to rest by the creek is kind of on the backside of the valley itself as well. There's a really cool area that goes down to the creek and you have all these gravel bars and the creek just kind of meanders around the gravel bars and the views up to the mountains and the glaciers and all the cascading waterfalls coming down is simply poetic. It's quite beautiful. And also keep watch for wildlife because the valley holds a considerable amount of wildlife through here, either bears or moose or deer and all sorts of other creatures through here. So that's one of the other highlights of this valley. So just before you get to the very far back of Cascade Valley, you're going to start climbing more moderately through the forest. And shortly after that, you'll cross North Fork Cascade Creek and you'll reach an intersection. And this is properly the backside of Cascade Canyon and the turnaround point for this hike. So let's get into my rating. What did I like about this trail? Well, one of my favorite things about this trail was after I left Inspiration Point. It's amazing how this hike just completely switches in tone. The canyon itself is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. And on top of it, it's just nice to be able to just lounge around by the creek. There's several places that you can kick off the main trail and just kind of hang out by the creek. Everything is so beautiful. There's lots of wildlife. I really didn't care for the effort that it takes to get here, like going through the hassle of the shuttle and how insanely crowded it is up to Inspiration Point and just beyond into the canyon. But beyond those things, it's well worth coming here. That is why this hike is rated an all day, every day. I do want to share a story, something that I saw that I've never seen before. And I spend a lot of time in the woods. But on my way back, I was able to run into a full-grown buck mule deer that was taking care of a newborn fawn. Now, I had never seen that before, and it looked like something straight out of Bambi. We're actually not quite done with this canyon itself, because in my next video, we're going up to Lake Solitude. So keep around for that. That video is coming, and I am really excited to share that with you. So if you like this video, hit a like, hit a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.